Okay, so step 4, after you've arranged the files as mentioned in step 3, you should have your library set up like this. So a master folder. Within the master folder, you'll have the instruments folder, all the instruments are within there. And then the samples folder, all the sub-sample folders are put within samples, okay? As mentioned in step 3. So that's crucial for loading the files. That's the most important step, is step 3. Okay, this is a test drive version of the library, so there's only 2 kits within this. Okay, but everything mentioned is appropriate for all libraries. Okay, so there's basically 2 ways you can load the instruments within Kontakt, the 2 most popular ways. And that's 1, go within your folder and simply drag them in, and each time drag them in. There's also the browse functionality, and if you go to the browse item here, browse, then within the location of wherever the library location is on your hard drive, then you just simply do the same thing, double click or load them like that. Since I'm on a laptop, I'm going to just simply drag them in for space reasons. Okay, so it's as easy as that. You just pull the files in and just load them as such. It's that easy, then you're ready to go. They're good to go. If you want to load a second, like you're done with this file, if you want to load a secondary file in, just make sure that's going to load 2 files, okay? So just make sure you're loading over the previous file and you don't have multiple files. Okay, so once you do have the files loaded, it's as easy as to use the Kontakt functionality and go from there. Okay, so within each library, this is how the libraries are set up. There's a mixes kit, a mixes instrument, and that's essentially allows you, when you pull this in, it basically gives you a quick rundown, a 10-second rundown of each of the different sounds of the kits in the library. So you can basically listen to each of the kits within the library and go, this is the type of vibe I want. So if this was, for example, if I'm going through this and I hear this kit, I could say, okay, which kit is that? Okay, that's kit 8, okay? Obviously, this is a test drive. I don't think I have kit 8 on here. No, so say I liked kit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I could then pull in kit 4, but the mixes essentially allows you to demo and listen to all of the various kits, sounds, vibes, and basically what it's after. Then in the instruments, you have the performance instruments group. I'll show you that, and that's basically all of the instruments. So if we pull in kit 4, the performance instruments group are essentially used if you want to make a quick, down and dirty, rough demo. So they're arranged like this. These red keys allow you to control the pitch of the kit. So this is in C#. Essentially, this is set up like this. Kit 4, 112 BPM, C# is the key you're in. So here we can see C#. And if you want to change this to D, it's as easy as going that. C. So we'll stick right now with the key that it was recorded in, which is C#, and this will always tell you the key that it's recorded in, okay? So, but if your track, let's say, was in the key of D and you needed everything to be in D, it would be as easy as going, I need everything in D, then it's in D. Let me just show you that. So that's C#. If you want it in D. Okay, so all of the melodic instruments are stacked on the green section. So for example, let me go to this. You'll see that all of the melodic instruments will now play. So this is the pre-chorus, as you can see designated here, pre-chorus. You can see that the bass, electric guitar, electric picking, electric rhythm, probably synth organ will all be playing because these are all the melodic instruments. And then these are the drums. And we broke these out so that you can have a different drum groove over this. So if you, let's say you're playing the pre-chorus, but you want to have the bridge drum groove over that, there's not a complication there. Of course, with the instruments stacked, you have complete control of panning without problem, volume, soloing, muting, anything you want there. But it's a way that you can create quick, down and dirty demos, essentially. And for example, in this one, the functionality up here is explained in detail in another tutorial, so I won't belabor this point, but this basically allows you to control the length of any section. So right, and if you click link loop, you can then take this to anywhere you want in the song. Okay. Further, if you would like to have this portion, like if you wanted to have a 2-bar portion here, you like this, you could then save that to these keys here. So I want to save it to slot 1. That is now saved right here. Okay. I could then come back to my pre-chorus here, and I could go, I want the next part to be this. I could then save that to slot 2. If I wanted to, I could go save the slot 3. Then in real time, you can control the performances. And again, forgive this for not being smooth. This is done on literally a mouse and a keyboard on the laptop. But that gives you the idea. Right? And that works with any of the parts, drum parts, whatever, and you have 7 of those slots there, okay? All right, so the performance group, again, is a way that all of the melodic instruments are stacked, and it allows you for quick, dirty down, a quick demo, essentially, okay? The performance instruments are very similar in that all of the instruments are arranged, but each instrument is given its own octave. So if I click here, I can see which instrument I'm playing. So these are drums. Then next is going to be, it's basically set up like a mixer. So if bass is in there, it's next going to be bass. Right? Guitars. And so this way, each instrument is placed to its own octave, so you have complete flexibility. So essentially, you could play the intro passage here, you could play a pre-chorus here, and say you wanted the chorus figure over that. You could allow them to play together, right? Again, same functionality. You just want this 2-bar chorus portion played over, let's say, the bass pre-chorus. You could easily do that. Such and so forth, everything. You can arrange it however you want. But in the performance instruments group, each instrument is arranged on its own octave. So this is a very, very, very flexible way to have multiple parts playing at the same time and not be stuck to chorus over a chorus over a chorus over a chorus. You can arrange these in any manner you want. The save slot still applies. So if I wanted this rhythm part here, again, if I wanted just this portion saved, again, I just go save slot 1, and then I could play this over any other passage, okay? The single instruments are arranged so that this is more of an instrument overdub situation. So if you already have a track built, or if you just want to focus on one instrument at a time, this is where you'd come to. So let's say I want to grab some electric rhythm parts, okay? So I would pull in the electric rhythm, and this is arranged so that each key here is a different part. So intro fill, intro, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Each key is a different song section, in other words, or a different performance. Again, same applies for up here. This functionality is carried through all of the instruments. The difference here is On the single instruments and on the sliced instruments, the key change region is set up differently, and that's just the limitation within Kontakt. So on the previous instruments, you saw that, in fact, let me just load that. On the previous instruments, on both the group and the instrument, you saw it was in the key of C sharp, and the yellow was on C sharp. So the performance group and instruments, whatever the key is, that is what's going to be the key shown there. However, on the single instruments and sliced instruments, these are arranged differently. So you can see it's in C sharp, but it's showing on C. So unfortunately with Kontakt, it has to be done in this manner, and it's simply showing you half step up, whole step up, half step down, whole step down, such and so forth. So you basically want to say, okay, this is recorded in C sharp. If my track was in the key of D, I need to go a half step up. So I'm just going to go like this. And there you're recorded. So we're now in D. If we wanted to be in E flat, and of course, half step down the other way. So you basically need to look at this and say, what is it recorded in? And then go half step up, half step down to your desired key. Okay, but these single instruments are arranged to simply focus on one instrument overdub at a time. Okay, and there's additional functionality here that's mentioned within the walkthrough videos. Okay, finally, the sliced instruments. These are set up in the same manner that you're focused on one instrument. So I'll go to electric picking. Okay, same thing. Where these are the performances, right? These are the different performances you can cycle through. And then this is mentioned in detail in the walkthrough videos, but just a quick reference here. You can simply start a performance like this. You can start it from here. Or you can go to slice. And I honestly prefer the slice. I think it's a little bit easier to handle. And this way, each slice, 1, 2, 3, is associated to a particular key. Right? So you can play each slice in real time. Also, depending on which tab you're on, you can stretch, you can control functionality with this. So, right? Or volume or pitch, whatever you want to control. So that can be done there. Again, this has a lot of extra functionality, a tremendous amount of functionality. You can go to one shots, you can obviously all of the effects and that you can control. This is all mentioned within each of the walkthroughs, so I'll refer you to those. But that's essentially how you load the instruments, the various instruments into Kontakt, and what the various instruments functionality are.